Looking for love like a day moon. I just wish I could hear it. What did the wizard say before he rode away? Late nights keeping me company. A jukebox melody, laser beams. Keep on living in the mystery. Love lives on in history. Magic all around you all the time. If you decide to open your eyes, how do I circle back to the time before? Late nights keeping me company. A jukebox melody, laser beams. Keep on living in the mystery. Love lives on in history. Late nights keeping me company. A jukebox melody, laser beams. Keep on living in the mystery. Love lives on in history. Late nights keeping me company. A jukebox melody, laser beams. Keep on living in the mystery. Love lives on in history.
I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces in the role of government. And one thing that is a reliable e-cash, a method whereby
What's going on, everybody? My name is Baloo and welcome to the jungle. This is the channel where we take a very simple approach to technical analysis. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you hit the subscribe button? I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I've been moving around here in Mexico, so in between hotel and apartment, so now I'm staying put for at least probably 2 months. So we should get back onto the consistent and normal schedule. The stream happens at noon, and right after the stream we have the private Zoom meeting where you guys in the private group can ask any questions about some of the assets that you are looking at. Now, in today's video, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to take a look at just a chart that kind of came across my desk today that is pointing to a supply shock that is occurring in the spot exchanges. So this is some on-chain data. We're going to take a look at this on-chain data and make some comparisons as to what we're seeing now to what we may be able to expect to see in the future. I do, in fact, believe that we are still inside of a bull market, and I think that, you know, the craziness that comes inside of cryptocurrency hasn't even occurred yet. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our favorite cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. So here we are looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour. I have gone ahead and prepared some short-term price targets using a method inside of the Wyckoff method known as point and figure. So I've got some tentative price targets already picked out here, and I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to share those price targets with you. If you're new to this channel, subscribe below or follow me on Twitch. So basically, we have been inside of this reaccumulation schematic for, well, how many days has it been now? right at the beginning of the shakeout to where we are today was about 22 days ago. So just under a month, we've been reaccumulating here at around the $50,000 level. And we had a nice little shakeout today, and we are now backing up on top of this trading range. All of my alerts are going off. So basically, we've had our sign of strength. So buyer's climax, of course, all of my alerts are going off. All my daily alerts. Okay, so buyer's climax to a shakeout to a bit of a spring. Sorry, these are kind of hidden behind my point and figure bars, but a spring to a test to a sign of strength, and this sign of strength is now working out its backup. So the backup is typically the last point before you kind of see some price increase, typically using this method. So we're just kind of testing the supply currently and trying to see if we can get some higher price targets. Oh man, 7 o'clock my time, and that's when all of my daily alarms go off. So 2 targets. Some might even argue that we have already hit the first target, 63,000. So we came just shy of that. Looks like right around 62,000 on the perpetual futures chart. And then our next target that we're looking at is just shy of 75,000. So just before those big evens, you know, you got to keep an eye on those big even numbers. 75K is going to be a big even number. Anytime you reach any level that is significant and easily divisible by the human mind, you encounter psychological supply. So it makes a lot of sense that we get somewhere close to that level. You always want to go a little bit below these psychological levels for any type of take profits that you would be looking to do, just to kind of get ahead of a lot of the traders. Now, me personally, you know, I'm playing these things a little bit long, so take profits. I'm going to wait until we get to 75,000 and I'm going to observe the price action. Oftentimes when you're using this style of analysis, you know, getting to your target, it entirely depends on your trading strategy. If you're a short-term trader, if you're trading the smaller swings, then yeah, it's a fantastic area where you would want to take profit. But if you're a long-term investor and you're wanting to trade the macro cycles, it's just an area where you want to stop and pay attention and see how you might want to reallocate some of your positions to possibly capitalize on a downside move. But yeah, that's basically what we are seeing inside of Bitcoin right now. And I want to also just take a look at this chart. So this is from Glassnode. They do a lot of on-chain analytics, and this is showing a potential supply shock entering the market right as things start to get really kind of, you know, hot and frothy in the market. We're seeing a lot of assets do, you know, some pretty significant moves. You know, there's a lot of assets that have done double-digit gains this weekend, and I think that there's the potential that we could continue that sort of a trend. If we take a look at this back here, most of the supply on the exchanges is either ascending or flat, okay? The last time we had a descending trend in the available supply of, or this is referencing the liquidity on the exchange, the last time we had that was kind of the precursor to the enormous bull run that we had in 2017. So we're, for the very first time, starting to see that downtrend. We're starting to see that that supply start to dry up on the spot exchanges. What does this mean? Well, it means that you're going to have a small group of investors all fighting over the same coins. And when there's not a lot of coins to fight over, or when there's not a lot of coins to go around, you have to outbid one another. And that's what causes these price markup events. Now, again, nothing on this channel is financial advice and nothing is a guarantee, but these on-chain analytics are an interesting layer that we can kind of add to our thesis and add to our strategy and kind of determine where we think we are in the macro cycle. So if this does play out and we start to see some increase, we could have some pretty good moves ahead. So yeah, just looking forward to that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other assets. Before I go any further, can I just get a quality check? I'm dialing it. Every time I move locations, I tend to have to change settings. So am I quite laggy? Can I get a sound check? Can I get a video check? Thumbs up, anything inside of the chat just to let me know that everything is watchable. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Good. Right on. Awesome. Cool. Everybody on Twitch. Everybody's on Twitch. All the lurkers are on YouTube. All my fans are on Twitch. Okay, so Ethereum USD, you know, it's very similar in structure compared to Bitcoin. You know, we had this shakeout event down here. Let's go ahead and throw a range on there. I don't know where my range went to begin with. A little bit of resistance here. It's not as strong. It's not as strong as what's going on with Bitcoin. But it's in a similar area. You know, we had our buyer's climax, our shakeout, a little bit of a spring. The spring came on low volume and there was no real difference in the volume, but in reaccumulations, you got to be pretty flexible with the volume analysis. But that got bought back into the range for a beautiful test that resulted in a mini sign of strength. We spent a little bit of time underneath the resistance. We broke out for our true sign of strength, and now we're trying to work out our backup right now. So, yeah, things are looking good. A lot of poo-poo in the ETH department. A lot of people still bearish on ETH, questioning the validity of Ethereum's future. I have always maintained a bullish bias on Ethereum on this channel, and nothing's changed. So we'll just keep on being bullish with Ethereum. I think that this is a coin that, well, it's got some higher price targets that I don't think would be responsible for me to publicly share on these streams, but they're high. Not financial advice. Okay, Glasswalker, nice to see you in the chat, man. Right on. Anthony Giles, how's it going? Mark Hanna, right on. Everything's working good. Sounds good. Perfecto. Check. Video's all good. Awesome. Sam the dog, welcome in. Nice to see you in the chat, guys. Awesome. Lots of members of my server in the group, in the chat today. Awesome. Guys, if you're new to the channel and you are interested in joining the free Discord, there are links down below. Just follow the About Me page if you're on Twitch, and then it's just, you know, in the description if you're coming at me from YouTube. I often do this style of analysis where I keep things really chill. I try to eliminate a lot of the hype. I am the type of YouTuber that is not going to kind of, you know, bow down to the algorithm in a sense. You know, too many shills out there, too many people who are just trying to get the clicks, get the views. And yeah, my channel doesn't perform as well as other ones that are all moon boy all the time, but I just want to kind of try and be realistic. I want you to be in an environment that is not too hyped, you know, not too emotionally driven, because emotion is what kills your money. So having a level head, having a plan, strategizing, and having fun is the best way about this crazy world of cryptocurrency. All right, let's catch up with the chat here. Okay, so a lot of YouTube crypto videos have seemed to think that ETH is going to be worth a lot. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. I think that someday is absolutely going to be within this cycle. There's some interesting upgrades that are going to kind of, you know, address a bullish narrative inside of Ethereum. Most notably is the, oh, hello, Mickey. Most notably is the EIP 1559 upgrade, which is, you know, it's just a transitional piece to our transition to ETH 2.0, but it is going to kind of introduce a supply shock to the ecosystem. It's the first time that there's been an integrated burning measure into that asset. So pretty interesting to be able to burn the ETH supply, because that is going to cause a liquidity crisis. Okay. Oh, thanks. Your channel is a gem. Beautiful. Glad you enjoy the content. Jacob Shelton's asking, what is going on with BTC? BTC is doing just fine. BTC is doing great. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. So we had our sign of strength. We are in the final stages of potentially leaving this trading range, and we are in our backup phase right here. So you know, this is typically the area that you buy, you know, buy the dip, buy the shakeout, buy the spring, buy the backup. Okay. Smaller time frames on BTC not looking good in the short term. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. I'll go down to the 15-minute. Let's see what we can see. When I get into the small time frames and I'm looking at support levels, often I'll throw the RSI on just for a little peek, just to gain confluence on what it is that I'm seeing. You know, we're seeing the strength overall kind of increase. This is kind of, it's not a divergence per se, but we're seeing a lot more of the relative strength. We're seeing higher levels in strength holding on support. Now, a full-on divergence would be great. I would prefer to see a divergence, but you know, we're reacting differently to the support level than we are on the relative strength. I'm bullish. I think that this is the backup. I think that we're just getting ready to shoot up to $75,000. But you know, we're both wrong until one of us is right. Technical analysis is not about being able to predict the future. It is really about being able to form a strategy. So your strategy should be taking a bullish bias when you're in an uptrend. The entire market is bullish. Bitcoin has not done anything to tell you that it is ready to change its trend. It has been making higher highs. It has been making higher lows. And until we get some significant evidence to the contrary, or to be able to break that trend, our analysis needs to be holding a bullish bias. Keep it really simple. Guys, a lot of people really overcomplicate the TA and they try to convince you that they can see into the future based on how complex their technical analysis is. It's really, really simple. All you're doing is buying support, selling resistance, and you know, analyzing the trend. If we're in an uptrend, chances are that trend will continue until it doesn't. Somebody's got to buy the peak. But yeah, I don't think we're at the peak yet. Okay. ADA, number one shitcoin, blowing up my damn account. Right on. Congratulations. Cardano is not an asset that I had a lot of exposure to, just given the fact that they did not have smart contracts for the longest time. I don't even know if they have them yet. I think it's just the hype of their announcement to launching smart contracts. Either which way, you know, I'm not exposed to it, but I'm very happy for you for being exposed to that asset, because you gotta get those gains, buddy. It's a lot of people in the group doing quite well with Cardano, so congratulations all around. Bird is killing me right now. I'm killing it with Bird, not killing me. It's doing good. Bird's doing good. Any Bird fans? Let me know if you got Bird. Are there nachos with this dip? Yeah, man. Bring the chips. Okay, what about the whales? Yeah, so the whales, what I'm referring to is basically, you know, typically the supply shock is coming from large institutional investors pulling coins off of the exchange. That's basically what I'm trying to indicate with this on-chain analysis. Retail investors, more often than not, you know, the data shows that retail investors, they tend to keep their funds on exchange for a plethora of reasons, whether they feel comfortable in the you know, holding comfort in the fact that they can apply a stop loss, whether they are fully exposing themselves to leveraged instruments like futures contracts. There's many reasons why retail investors keep funds on exchange, keep crypto assets on exchange. Not exactly advised, but you know, that's not the topic of discussion. What we're seeing in the charts is liquidity in the actual physical asset being taken off of the exchange. And this is causing a supply shock. Now, it's starting to really increase. You know, the price is increasing as the supply is decreasing. This is really one of the most bullish things that you can see inside of this space. And whales are locking stuff away inside of hardware wallets. You know, presumption, this is the presumption that we're taking here. So this supply shock here is what could spark the mania phase of this potential bull market. You know, have a strategy, be really prepared, know where you're going to take profits, know where you're going to be happy, and execute on your strategy, because there's a lot of bullish things, not only in the technicals of the price candles that we analyze as Wyckofians, but also on-chain data, fundamental analysis, the hype in the space, the influx of new retail traders. There's a lot of bullishness in the space, and you know, it's very exciting. A lot of us have been waiting for this moment for a very long time, and if you're new, Well, congratulations, you joined in the exciting part of the run, but a lot of us have been grinding away in the bear market, so it's really nice to see this positive price action. The amount of whales is decreasing according to Glassnode. The amount of whale addresses in terms of Bitcoin is decreasing, but large institutional interests are acquiring spot assets and removing them from the exchange. And it's that act of removing the capital, removing the asset from the exchange that actually creates the supply shock. When an exchange becomes illiquid, you're forced to pay higher prices. And when you have we have an influx of new retail investors coming in and fighting over the same coins, you get insane markup. So, yes, to your point, Glassnode is pointing out that the whale addresses may be decreasing, but the overall institutional purchasing of assets on spot markets and actually removing them from the exchange to put them on cold storage is increasing. And that is the supply shock that is really going to rock the charts, in my opinion. So yeah. What's up? New to the stream? Welcome in. Glad to have you. Hit the follow button. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, thanks for confirming for me. I've been grinding, hodling. Yeah, man, hodling can be very effective. Does nothing pump at all during a bear market? No, things pump, but it is next to impossible to be able to, pick the winners. There are ebbs and flows in every single stage of the market cycle. But typically, there's a lot more opportunity to the short side when you're in a bear market. The extensions are to the downside. So you have a recovery, that would be your pump, the recovery, yay, everything's good. And then you have that extension to the downside. There is kind of like multiple parts to the cycle. Let me just zoom out here onto the BLX. Let's go to the BLX. Very awesome chart. If you're new and you're unfamiliar with the BLX is the Brave Liquid Coin Index. This holds the most price history inside of Bitcoin. Let me just clean up all this garbaggio. But basically, on this side of the bull market, your price extensions are to the upside, so you want to be long. And then on this side, the price extensions are to the downside and you want to be short. But then there's a long drawn out period where you're relatively flat. Now, experienced traders can still make money in this, but it's nowhere near as easy as the money that you can make in these markup events, especially to the inexperienced and new investor. Everybody's a genius in a bull market, and it's really easy to make money. I don't want to make it sound too easy, but you can really lose yourself in the emotional thrill of the bull market, and you can really lose yourself in the emotional dismay of a bear market if you're not properly prepared for it. Typically, if you make a lot of money in this market, you want to capitalize it and you want to realize those gains on this side of the bull market. Realize the gains, realize what's coming. You may not be able to time the top. You probably won't be able to time the top. It's very, very hard to do so. But, knowing that this is a secular cycle, or knowing that these markets are secular, can really help you to realize, well, I sold somewhere near the top. I feel like the top is coming in, and then you can just wait for those pullbacks to come in on the other side and invest in the bottom. People who invested down here, very rich people investing down here. People that bought the coronavirus panic, very rich people inside of that coronavirus panic. So there are many opportunities in the sideways trading environment, but people were holding on to this shit for 1,000 days before we got to the fun part. So yeah, buy the top, sell the dip, baby. Am I right? So actually, kind of a funny thing that you can that I actually shared. You know what? Let me just pull it up. Let me just pull it up from my Discord here, because I actually, you can be a very terrible, a very, very bad investor in this market and still make money. Now, it always requires patience. always. But let me just show you what I'm talking about here if I can pull it up. Come on. Everything always runs slower when I'm streaming. Come on, baby. Show me your new M1 Mac abilities. Okay, here we go. Here, let me pull it over. Bear with me. I did not plan for this to take so long. Okay, so if you bought the top of the cycle before the last cycle and you sold the bottom of the last cycle, you still would have made 166%. So patience, young grasshopper. You can still make money. You know, you'd have to be pretty bad to buy the tippity top and to sell the tippity bottom. But you would still walk away with some money. So, you know, there's definitely some nice, it's a nice sentiment to think that time is on your side in these markets. All right, where were we? Yeah, shoot your requests. Let's open it up to the community. I've rambled on enough here. Let's take a look at some of your charts. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see? We were talking about ADA. ADA's kind of gone straight up. ADA on the US dollar pair is looking good. I think it's looking even sexier on the Bitcoin pair. Yeah, we're getting a nicer backup on Cardano with the Bitcoin pair. This is fabulous. Fabuloso. We got our kind of support range here. Yeah, it's kind of breaking through a little bit, but we're working out our backup. So we're going in for our theoretical LPS. You got to be a little bit more flexible on the Bitcoin pair. But yeah, we got a huge sign of strength. We got a sign of strength on ADA. You know, I don't think ADA's done. I think that ADA's going to chill for a bit, but I think that ADA's actually going to really do well once we start to leave this accumulation range. Okay, Sans the dog, UNFI. So that's one that a lot of people in my group made a lot of money on that I just never paid attention to. There's too many setups. I can't see all the setups, or I can see the setups, but so this is very healthy price structure. It's a little wicky, but I'm gonna chalk that up to the illiquidity of this asset. Let's actually go down to a smaller time frame. Let's go with the 12-hour. Beautiful rounded bottom on this, and then just a face melting move to the upside. Let's kind of throw some support. You know, when you're in an accumulation range, you want to do the Wyckoff accumulation range. For those who don't know, just follow the links in the Discord. I've got a bunch of free material. You can learn this method. You know, it's all available for free on the internet. I've just put it all in one place for you. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord. Yes, I have an annoying verification bot. Yes, you need to verify your account. It's a free server. Bots are a thing. Raids are a thing. You got to get into the server. You got to verify with my bot. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, so we have this kind of support range here. We broke through the resistance, and beautiful sign of strength. Came down and test, kind of a wacky test. Now the price action is really volatile. If you're to take if you're going to take a position in this, I don't even think there is leverage available on this asset. If there is leverage available, don't use leverage. This is too volatile, too unpredictable. But, you know, we're tentatively sitting on an area of support. Actually, it looks like we could come down a little bit further. We could actually come down a little bit further for another test down at around $28. Let's call it a big even down at 30. Let's see what the momentum is doing. Yeah, we have down pressure. We have downside momentum. Yeah, it's kind of inconsistent right now. I'm not sure what this asset does. I'm not sure what the narrative is going around on this one, but it's very unique price structure. When the price structure becomes hard to read, don't be afraid to look at what's going on the Bitcoin pair, because as we get into a healthier trading environment, as far as the macro, as far as the macro environment is, as we become more and more bullish and people stop retreating to Tether and start trading into Bitcoin, this pair becomes more and more applicable as the market progresses. So right now we're definitely in a transitional phase with these pairs, and it looks like there was some resistance here on the Bitcoin pair right around this area right here. We're below the resistance. There is also a little bit of a channel. We can kind of chart this channel here, something like this. We're on support. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's on tentative support on both pairs. So if you wanted to take a spot position, nothing here is financial advice. Do your own research, because I know zilch about this coin. But the trend is your friend, and it's sitting on support. Looks to be curling up. So go check that one out. Dent, man, I've been hearing that Dent is, I shouldn't be yelling into this mic. I'm gonna make my mic too hot. Yes, we will get to GRT. I promise this time. I made a promise last stream that I would do GRT, and then I bailed. We'll get to GRT. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Dent, man. Dent has been actually doing well. This is one from the previous cycle. I think that the idea is just ahead of its time, to be perfectly frank, but that does not matter in the speculative stages of a bull market, because what are we doing? We are selling the story. We are not selling the facts. Nobody cares that nobody is using this service for cell phone data. Like, nobody, in the grand scheme of the cell phone world, nobody's using this service. But that's not the point. We're selling the narrative. We're selling the idea. And this seems like a nice idea. This seems like something that we would want to do one day in a decentralized fashion. So we've been seeing nice price movement inside of Dent. Let's go down to an intraday time frame. Looks like we need, it's kind of an uncertain, price action here. Yeah, I mean, we could come down to some lower levels here. We want to retest around this area, something like this. We could come all the way back down to this level right here. It's a super cheap coin. This in and itself is a category, in my opinion. Getting those micro cost coins where people can spend $100 and get thousands and thousands of coins. Retail loves that. Retail loves to have thousands and thousands of something. Doesn't matter that it's a bag of rice. Oh man, I've got so many grains of rice. This is amazing. Doesn't matter. They just like to have lots of something. Yeah, so, you'll see a lot of that stuff kind of, pick up over time as we sell these stories and we sell these narratives and we sell these ideas. Dent, I don't know. We could see it come down. Let's check it out on the Bitcoin pair. See if the setup is any cleaner. Yeah, it looks like it's got downside room as well. You could draw a flag on this too. We're in an uptrend, so your bias is to the upside. Our bias is that we will continue to the upside in this asset. So if you really wanted to, you could draw a trading range around it. Let's just draw a quick little bull flag on there, bull flaggerino. And if we go down to some smaller time frames and dissect the movements of this bull flag, it looks fairly bullish. We have a bit of a rejection here. This got bought back into a sign of strength. I think that we could potentially break out here. If we do break out, you're going to want to, wait for that clear sign of strength, okay? And then wait for a backup to hold. And then if we can hold that back up and continue higher, you may even want to consider making an entry here. If you wanted to play it safe. Dent is a microcap coin. Your position size needs to take into account how small the microcap, or how small the market cap of this coin is. as a good base rule of thumb, the higher the market cap, the safer it is for you to put money into it. Therefore, you can put more money into it. If you want to take high risk plays, be my guest. We're in a very favorable environment where you can make a lot of mistakes. But you know, realize your gains. Take your capital back out. Dent went to basically zero for a very long time. I don't think that this has the user base to justify the use case. So it's not something that I would invest in. Doesn't mean it's something that you can't make money on. Dent solves the global data roaming problems using blockchain. Yeah, well, so do cell phone providers. Data's not that expensive. You get a SIM card anywhere you go in this world. And I do agree that there is a potential for a 50x. See, that's what I mean. Like, I think it's dumb, but that doesn't mean you can't make money. Okay. How am I asserting downward pressure? Sam, I'm just seeing room there. So I forget what coin we were even looking at. But the moving averages, you know, I just quickly took a look at some of the EMAs, and the EMAs had a nice extension and were curling back. So the EMAs, although not like a definitive technical indicator by any means, it shows room to the downside. They're curling over to the downside. When you couple that with the fact that there was room, so there was a large extension, and then, you know, you had room there for it to go down. It hadn't built support yet. It hadn't tested previous levels of support, and the momentum was waning and heading down. That's the only reason that I looked at that as pressure. Maybe pressure wasn't the right term, but you know, I would wait for a pullback personally if I was looking to enter that fresh. And it's really important to wait for pullbacks, even if they occur higher. Wait for pullbacks, and you know, that can kind of be counterintuitive to a lot of people, but it really depends on your risk metrics and your strategy and what it is that you're trying to do with that asset, and what kind of swing are you trying to play. Okay, GRT. Yes, GRT. Let's do it. I messed up last stream. I don't think you were around for me to apologize in the comments, if that is indeed the same person who I broke their heart promising GRT and not delivering. But we have GRT. How much time do I got? Oh, guys, I gotta go. I can't do GRT. No, I'm just messing with you. Okay. So this is a very interesting structure. It's kind of weak. It's kind of non-committal, but we had a huge move. We had a huge move in GRT. I'm gonna slap a range on here, and I'm gonna see what I can see, because I think that there's two trading ranges here, and that is indicating a reaccumulation after decline. So we're going to look at it through the lens of a potential reaccumulation after decline. So a reaccumulation after decline is basically two separate trading ranges, a distribution on top and an accumulation on the bottom. So if we're looking at it like that, you know, you have your distribution on top, and then you have your accumulation on the bottom. Seller's climax, automatic rally, secondary test, little bit of a shakeout, second test in phase B, came up, got a rejection up here. The supply is really tight in here, which is good. You know, this is just retail. This is just retail. You have no composite players in this right now. So we could actually come down to these lower levels at around $1.50-ish, and maybe potentially put in a spring on this asset before the institutions step in, because this is all retail driven price action, and we are kind of all over the map here with this. There is a little bit of a support range here. It's not super definitive, like it hasn't been tested very much, but we do have a small level of support here, which is inside of the trading range. But again, it hasn't been tested, nowhere near enough. So I would anticipate that, you know, if we hold here, it's a slim chance that it holds definitively, and we might not be able to pull off of it. I'm bullish on GRT. I held through this whole extension and this whole distribution, and I have not sold since I got in at like 90 cents. I think that this is its first sign of strength after leaving a kind of a cup and handle, not really, but you know, just this rounded bottom. This is its first major break of an accumulation. Its first major break, it needs to prove to the market that that break is worthy. So this asset actually looks a lot better on the Bitcoin pair. This is one that I've been charting on against Bitcoin because the support levels are just so much clearer. But if we take a look at what's going on there, okay, so we've broken through. I already had it drawn there on the support levels. We had a beautiful support level that we were bouncing off of, and we're now falling down against it. So that means we need to look at probably the level of the breakout. So down here at the area of the breakout, we have another support range. That support range does need to hold. If we are unable to hold that, well, it's going to be a long drawn out ride, but I am bullish on GRT overall. It just may take a while. You know, it's an interesting project. It doesn't really have too many competitors. I don't think there are any competitors that are trying to do what GRT is doing. They're indexing kind of DApp protocols and DApp code to make it really easy for developers to create DApps. Nobody's doing that, but yeah, hopefully this level holds on the Bitcoin pair, and we can see some bullish price action. Maybe this is the spring. Maybe this comes in as a spring. No institutional participation to the long or the short side. Okay, so there's no institutional selling. It's just accumulating. There's nothing in the volume profile that says that anything else is going on here. So for that reason, I'm bullish. I think that the price action is very tight. The spread is very tight. The volume is very tight. It's just retail, you know, retail is messing it up. And there are strong players. So as soon as we get down to a level of consensus for the institutional investors to step in, that may come in the form of panic. So there may be some FUD that comes out on GRT and scares a bunch of retail investors out of the asset. That's when the institutions are going to step in. That is when they're going to buy in the perceived value zone, and that's when we can get some real price appreciation, because we need that supply shock in the asset. Yeah, price history of Dent is insane. It just did nothing for years and years. That too. Okay. WTF is going on with Mana lately? WTF, what is going on with the NFT space lately? NFTs are white hot right now. Guys, if you notice that something is in the NFT space and you are looking for new entries, I would recommend that you go look somewhere else. NFTs are very overvalued right now, especially because the entire sector, the entire product is really underdeveloped. The purpose of an NFT is not to be a collectible. The purpose of an NFT is not to trade trading cards. There are much more profound applications of that technology that doesn't exist yet, that hasn't been invented yet. And the space is ridiculously overvalued. I'm not touching anything that has to do with NFTs right now, and that's fine with me. You know, there's several assets that may continue to appreciate in value on this hype train. I was not exposed to NFTs just for the simple reason that I don't think that the space as a whole has developed enough to pique my interest into gaining exposure to those assets. So because I have no exposure, I'm not about to run in now when all the candles are fuck you green candles. Oops, YouTube's not gonna like that. Oh no. Okay, let's take a look at basic attention token. Bat's been doing quite well. Nice price action, really steady, nothing parabolic. It's left its accumulation range. Let's get off of the perpetual futures contract because there is a ton of price history inside of basic attention token. Full transparency, this is another asset that I think is just ahead of its time. You know, Google ain't dead yet. YouTube ain't dead yet. We don't pay for people's attention with tokens. You know, Twitch is kind of starting to pay with a tokenized model using bits, but for the most part, people don't use this type of incentive model just yet. So I think it is ahead of its time. But again, you know, we're selling the narrative. We're not selling the truth. So potentially we come down for another test. Potentially. This is the level of the automatic rally. So there is technically room to come down on this asset. Now, how far it comes down and what that looks like, I have no idea, but there is a little bit of a curling over in the price action here. Let's go down to the 8 hour and let's take a look at these. Let's look at the structure of this backup right here. It's had some nice moves. We got a sign of strength. We came back down for an LPS. We got a real good sign of strength where a lot of closes were happening above the line, the breakout area. But it looks like we have room to the downside. Let's just take a look at the RSI. High, higher high, high, lower high. So there is a little bit of a bearish divergence, at least on the 8 hour with this asset. This is just kind of confirming my suspicion based on the price action, based on the structure, that we come down for a test. I don't use RSI alone. I never use RSI alone. It's an accompaniment. It's an accompaniment to my thesis. So because I feel that this level didn't get tested enough, I felt like there was room for it to come down to the downside before getting a nice commitment to the upside. So don't be afraid if we do see basic attention token down around the 60 cent mark. Kind of a bearish short-term target. If we wanted to talk bullish, let me say that, you know, we could probably come down in this area right here, which we've already done a few tests on. But I think that you would get a lot more market participation from the institutional side if we come down to that value zone around 60 cents and form support one last time. If this does occur, I think that we'll get a huge move inside of basic attention token, because this is a multi-year accumulation range on a very significant level of support, and we haven't tested it enough. You know, the institution, the comp man wants to see those tests. Okay, we didn't get the test. That could be what the institutions are waiting for. We are seeing an increase in demand, huge supply signature here. I don't really know what to make of this, but the demand is increasing, okay? So there are institutional interests in this asset, for sure, for sure. Whether it's ready to take off right now, you could actually scale into the downside on this one. So you could take a little bit of a position now, you could take a little bit of a position on this level of support, you could reserve another position for this level of support. But yeah, I do personally think that there is some downside on this. 3-day chart, let's see what the RSI says. Yeah, there's a little bit of a divergence on the 3-day too. So there's bearish divergence. It's losing its momentum. The relative strength of the asset is declining. That's it. RSI, the relative strength index. When you index these candles, the strength is declining on these rallies. So there's, you know, there's less buying pressure. What do I think of BTC USD? Just rewind. Went into quite a lot of analysis on that one. Okay, I've got a little bit more time here, guys, before I need to jump into the private Zoom room. If you are not signed up to VIP, follow the links down below. I have a cryptocurrency trading group where we do a ton of fundamental analysis, technical analysis. We teach you the Wyckoff method. We have private trainings, or not, well, we have private Zoom rooms where it's, you know, less than a public school's class size in North America. So, you know, so far I think it's like 12 people in the room asking questions, you know, looking at your charts, looking at your assets and your analysis, and kind of trying to break it down together to see where the strength and see where the weakness may be in your analysis. So if you're interested in that, follow the links down below to Baloo's Crypto Jungle. Pretty affordable, I think. It's one of the more affordable groups out there, and we offer a ton of value. Okay. Okay, if GRT is mostly retail driven, will it really have a correction with the BTC pair? I didn't say that GRT is mostly retail driven. I think that the recent price action of GRT is retail driven, meaning that, you know, all of the ebbs and flows of the reaccumulation or the current price structure on where we are with GRT is not being influenced by institutions, meaning one of two things. They're either choosing fully not to participate, and maybe they've already sold, which I think is unlikely because it was just the first impulse, or they're waiting for that value zone to re-enter in participation. All of the price action that you're seeing in the accumulation since the buyer's climax is just retail driven price action. It's not, there's no institutional participation, and you can gauge institutional participation by the volume signatures. So I'm not gonna go back to GRT, but just rewind and think about what I was talking about in that context. Yeah, not buying NFTs, but money to be made. Yeah, it's just too high risk. I'll buy NFTs in the bottom of the bear market, and I'm not going to buy cheap ones either. And that's what I recommend. You know, with NFTs, you want to get something that's really valuable. If it's art, you know, I would love to get my hands on something that Beeple made, but I just don't see that it's probably going to be out of my price range. Those are some pretty impressive numbers that Beeple has been, you know, pumping out in the NFT world. But you never know how far these things will retrace. You never know how, you know, how valuable these things will be at the bottom of the bear market when nobody cares. Ontology, yeah, ontology, good. I think that Neo ecosystem is priming. Ontology is also part of the Polkadot ecosystem. I think that ontology is good. Me likey ontology. ONT USD. Yeah, it's beautiful accumulation range. These are few and far between. You know, the Neo ecosystem has really been suffering as a platform. It's, you know, it's not doing well compared to any other ecosystem right now. It's just sitting and doing nothing, but we have a beautiful accumulation range here. There is absolutely, without a doubt, market participation by institutional investors. You can see these huge demand signatures, tons of accumulation right here, tons of accumulation. Came down, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supply tests, all confirming this level is low. We just need that sign of strength. And so that's when the hype will re-enter. So I'm not saying it's going to come from here, but what you're looking for is that sign of strength breaking through for a new high and get that test. When we get that test, boom, that's when you enter, okay? Right approximately there. Spot position. Or leverage if you're a gangster, but I don't recommend leverage. The swings are so high right now. 30% swings are very, very common in crypto right now. What does that mean for your leverage contract? That means 3x or under. A 3x leverage position will liquidate you at 33%. Best money spent. Join Baloo's group for sure. Thanks, Bosnian Dragon. Appreciate that. LYM. Well, you give me an endorsement and I'll take a look at your chart. Not like I've been doing that this whole night. LYM. LYM. Is that right? LYM. On KuCoin? LYM on Bitfinex. Ooh! 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 What is this thing? What am I looking at here? Nice sign of strength. Now, we have to be a little careful with this kind of stuff, though. This is a really illiquid coin. You know, you can really kind of fake people out here. This is a massive move. Massive, massive move. Off of nothing with a very illiquid coin. It's made 1,000% in 12 days. I don't know what this is. Let's go look. Let's go look. LYM. Yeah, because pump and dumps are a thing, especially in this world now, you know, with Wall Street bets and yada, yada, yada. You know, it's not hard for you to do some on-chain analysis, realize how illiquid an asset is, and just organize a group of investors to come together and say, okay, get ready. We are going to all buy at this one time. We're going to buy for a week, and we're going to trigger all the bots. We're going to trigger coin market cap. We're going to trigger this. We are going to trigger that. And you get the attention, and then you get retail FOMOing in. So be aware of that. Let's see what we got here. Limpo.io. While that's loading. Market cap 70 million, so nothing. Circulating supply 843 million. Let's see here. Guys, there's so many new coins. You gotta realize a lot of my holdings I've been holding for a long time. So all this new stuff, I'll dabble, but my big positions are set already. Coming soon, NFT. Oh God. I don't know, guys. NFTs, they're too hot. They're too hot. If you want to play with fire, just be prepared to be burned. NFTs, it's coming soon. They don't even have a fucking website. Like, what the hell is going on? Oh man, I really gotta stop swearing. Twitch doesn't mind it when I swear, but YouTube doesn't like it when I swear. Okay. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's had a huge pump. This is definitely a hype driven pump. I'm not saying that this is a pump and dump. I'm saying that this is the market trying to find anything undervalued in the NFT space, and they're going for any asset that you know, just is in the ecosystem. If it has anything to do with the NFT, I'm gonna buy it. Like that's what is going on here. So I would be careful. You know, let's go down at some smaller time frames. This is day trader stuff. Like, look at how illiquid this is. I wouldn't touch it, guys. I really wouldn't. It's so illiquid. Look at how spotty this is. There's just nothing going on here. Trying to get into a position, you're going to overpay. Trying to get out of the position, you're going to have to take a hit. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. OMI. Lim has a huge following. Yeah, I don't know. It's not liquid on Bitfinex. Go find it somewhere else, I guess. See if there's anything else. KuCoin, is it liquid on KuCoin? It's more liquid. I don't know. Day trade it if you know what you're doing. But I'm not interested in that kind of stuff personally. I am happy to make my money in something that carries a lot less risk. You know, allocate your risk accordingly. You either allocate it into the fact that you really know what you're doing, or you allocate it with a very small position size if you don't know what you're doing. I don't know, but you'll do. You'll do you. Okay, they have a new token swap coming. Cool. Am I going to look at another shitcoin? Am I? Okay, yeah, I am gonna go look at another shitcoin. It doesn't even show up on TradingView. Am I? I like saying that for some reason. Am I? Am I? Ecomi. How is this guy not watching BTC? I don't know. What's BTC doing, dude? I already covered BTC. I'm not watching it because I'm not in short-term positions. BTC is going over $100,000. I can look away for a minute. Oh my God, it went down a few $100. Oh my goodness. Everybody run. BTC's dying. Putting in a bullish divergence. Okay, moving on. I don't know. Is this more freaking... Yeah, this is more NFT stuff. Guys, I'm not touching NFTs. No more NFT. No more NFT. Sell your BTC. Oh my God. Okay. They're coming to Uniswap before the end of this month. Well, Uniswap doesn't work like that. They're already on Uniswap. Uniswap's a DEX. So it's already there. I promise you this will be huge from some rando on Twitch. I don't know. Yeah, I don't plan on getting rich off of shit coins. You can only buy it on Bitforex and Bitmax. What are we talking about here? We're talking about Oni. Oni? This thing? It's got a contract address, don't it? Oh, it doesn't. So then what the hell is this? It's a derivative? Where does this exist? It's its own blockchain? What is this? This is not even a token right now? I'm so confused. So confused. The next support, everything is tied to Bitcoin. I'm not worried about Bitcoin. What's there to worry about? All right, we're degrading. We are degrading really quickly here, guys. I think it's time for the virtual classroom. So for those who are in the private group, get ready, prepare your charts, drop them in peer review charts. For those who haven't joined the Discord yet, go ahead and take a look at the Discord. I've got a ton of free PDFs for you to learn the Wyckoff method and give you the ability to chill. Give you the ability to chill because you have to be able to be calm in this market if you plan on making it. You know, we're in the backup phase on Bitcoin right now. A little bit of supply entering the market. Nothing to worry about. We're in a very good place. I'm telling you, everything is just fine. You are going to be just fine. Bitcoin is going to go over $100,000. If you're short-term trading, you know, you already know what you're doing. You're short-term trading an incredible bull market. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. So I want to thank you all for joining into the stream this evening or this morning or afternoon, wherever it is that you are catching me. And until next time, please trade safe. It is the jungle out there. Peace.
Welcome to my dream. It's good to see you again. We can kick back now. The show has reached the end.